Hey everyone, it's Laura Myers for CMS-Connected at Sitecore Symposium 2018, and I'm joined by Dale Traxler, the VP Commerce Solutions at Rightpoint. Thanks so much for sitting down with us today.
Oh, you're welcome, Laura.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm excited. So we were actually having a lot of great conversation about commerce, obviously, and so you had some great thoughts on the way that omnichannel is evolving, so go into that a little bit.
Well, at Rightpoint, we view that omnichannel started out as the right way of approaching the customer experience 5 years ago, 6 years ago. When you had multiple channels you sold through, you wanted to make sure that whatever content you were presenting wasn't out of brand or out of context, to what the buyer was doing if they moved, to different kinds of channels. Companies have addressed that by, doing a better job on their websites, integrating mobile devices, offering ordering online, pick up in store, and those types of things. But it's not gone far enough. It hasn't really created a frictionless buying environment that customers are looking for. There's still obstacles in that buying experience, especially when you move between devices or, 5 years ago, people didn't use a phone and their iPad and their computer and be on the TV at the same time. Today, almost everyone uses multiple devices at one time. So I may start the journey on my phone and then go to a computer because it's a better resolution screen or whatever it might be, but I have to start the journey over again. And that's not what people are looking for. I might want to order online or reserve online because I don't know for sure that I want it, but I don't want to lose it if I go to the store. I had that happen recently. I had to drive about an hour to go buy an AV receiver, and they had one left, but I wasn't sure I wanted to buy it, but I had to buy it or I might lose it. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted to reserve it, keep it for an hour and a half. I'll come in, I'll look at it, but they didn't offer that. So
kind of going between all the different kind of devices and journeys and stuff like that.
Right.
So in terms of how businesses can get to fluid commerce, what's some of the strategy, or what would you say are the challenges that are in their way for really kind of realizing what it is?
Well, first of all, customers want a frictionless contextual experience. So if you take that as your objective, how do you get there? And if I'm a seller, whether I'm a manufacturer or a retailer or a service agency, I need to know what the buying journey is for my client. And I can tell you from experience, almost no one really knows the buying journey of their client. They think they do. They take salespeople and they become the spokesperson, and whoever screams the loudest defines what the customer is. And so we'll say they may do it by roles. They may think they've got this one buying persona for men and another one for women, but they fail to see that there's all kinds of things in between. And they really have never done the research to say, Mr. Customer, where do you start this process? What makes you make certain types of decisions? Are you price driven? Is it proximity? Is it availability? Is it the brand? Is it your brand as a seller? Most of our clients don't know that. So you have to go out and do the appropriate research with a representative set of users, with internal stakeholders. You have to look at support calls. You have to look at search queries. There's all kinds of data that you have to mine, and most companies have the data, but they don't actually go in and know how to leverage it right. So you end up with false assumptions, and you create experiences that aren't really what people are looking for. But let's assume that you have identified the journeys, you have identified the personas. Now the next thing that I need to be able to do is present content and merchandising offers that are relevant to that experience. And so it's not just about the same experience across all channels, it's what does that person want at that point in the buying cycle. If I'm driving to the store on my mobile phone and talking to Siri and asking a question about a product or Alexa or whatever it might be, I probably have a different intent than if I'm sitting at home shopping.
Exactly.
I can't look at a screen, I can't have a comparative table. I'm looking for some different kinds of information at that point. So, you have to be contextual, and devices can give you that context today. So you need to start thinking about on a mobile phone what kind of capabilities are there that would allow me to deliver a more relevant, rich experience. Things like the weather are really relevant today. If I'm shopping in Florida in the Panhandle with the hurricane coming, I'm probably looking for something that's emergency driven, and I might want to be able to get to that really quickly. I'm probably not looking for a new lawnmower.
Exactly.
So you have to be aware of the context of the person, where they're at in their cycle, to give them the right content, to give them the right merchandising. Because that's the other piece in e-commerce is you need to be able to say, oh, what brands should I present? What is this person going to spend, likely to spend more money on a product or less money on a product? And that's all stuff that you need to be able to deliver.
Yeah.
So the barrier to that is that companies don't mine their data, and people can't curate those decisions.
Yeah.
5-6 years ago, people put in their own cross-sells and upsells, and they had a whole staff of people, and they built up these teams who failed miserably to do it well.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really what people were buying. Because they had false assumptions again. So you have to go back to that data, you have to leverage machine learning and artificial intelligence to actually drive those recommendations. So that's the evolution companies need to start going through right now is mine your data, make it available, index it, and then present it in fashions that are predictive and contextual based on the personas and the journeys. So that's where we're at.
That's cool. What would you say is the biggest business value?
If they do that well, it's all the core KPIs. If I do that well, my conversion rates are going to be going up because I've obviously delivered a better experience. Certainly my average order value, in terms of that loyalty, hopefully we're shifting from just pure loyalty rewards for purchases to just pure engagement. Yeah. Let's find a way, if I refer you to someone on social, that you can reward me for my loyalty. And so you need to drive that share of wallet is what a lot of people call it. I get more of your money because I'm more loyal to you. Yeah. So it's average, it's all those things. It's at the end of the day, it's top line revenue, but it's also bottom line revenue because I may buy a product I'm much happier with and I don't have to call support, or I bought the appropriate product and I don't have to return it. Yeah. We all know how bad the return levels are in retail in particular. Yeah. So
I think it's I think they said something like billions of dollars on
it's unbelievable. Yeah, I think most retailers are in the 12+% of their stuff gets returned, especially online.
And there's so much extra tax on their resources, and even people bring in the environment thing. If you think about the trucks that have to bring it back and forth.
That's another thing. Retailers and everybody needs to have return authorizations online. B2B is notorious for this. They call somebody and they go through a whole process, and you need to automate all that. Yeah. It's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. We can talk about this.
But at the end of the day, it's meeting your customer expectations and doing that through content, merchandising, leveraging data, and creating just frictionless. And then you get into the whole device thing. And if you've really done the devices well, you even further grow that. Yeah. I think because that's where it's all at. People want to use voice to order. They want to use mobile devices. They're moving further and further away from the traditional paradigm of I shop at home or I shop here. Yeah. It's, I need this. I mean, I do it all the time. If I need something, I think of it. I order it on Amazon now. Yeah. Then I don't want to put it on a list. I don't want to think about it. They'll deliver it to me in 2 days, even if it's a $10 item. Why would I consolidate those purchases anymore? Yeah. And most companies don't have that mentality yet.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. This has been great.
Nice.
Perfect.
Thanks.